Activists in Azerbaijan's capital march in silence to symbolically veto a draft climate change deal. In the agreement, wealthy countries would pay $250 billion a year to developing nations to help them adapt to climate change by 2035. But negotiators say the sum falls far below the $1.3 trillion a year they've been aiming for at the UN Climate Change Summit in Baku.
The developed countries are offering $250 billion when developing countries need trillions. It's like bringing a garden hose into a wildfire. It is outrageously inadequate, the climate crisis that we are facing. We need fire trucks. We don't need buckets of water.
Critics of the draft deal say by failing to provide more climate finance, wealthy governments are abandoning responsibilities to poorer nations. Industrialized countries, including China, India, the US and the European Union, produced 83% of carbon emissions responsible for climate change in 2022. While low-income countries, many of which already face the harshest impacts of climate change, produced less than 1% of greenhouse gas pollution.
It is so far from what they have asked for. It is so far from what our communities need on the ground. It will ensure that we blow the carbon budget, that nobody on the ground is able to have climate reparations or be able to make the transition away from fossil fuels with this kind of financing.
Activists are warning there is a growing divide in the ability of nations to respond to climate change.
We are ending up in an era of climate apartheid where the rich will use their wealth to seek safety and lead the poor to burn and drown. And unfortunately, what we're seeing here is that beginning to play out.
Analysts say rich countries' pledge of an annual $250 billion is only a modest increase on what they're already spending on climate finance. European negotiators say more countries and development banks should contribute to a climate fund. Barbara Angopa, Al Jazeera.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.